Hey guys, welcome back to Burnout's Hot Rod Shop. Today we're going to be fixing up 4 vintage Craftsman pieces. We got these angle cutters. We got a 6-inch adjustable, probably the 80s. It's the least vintage. We've got this Circle H ratchet, 3/8 ratchet. And then we've got this Circle U, which is a Plum manufactured 1/2-inch drive ratchet. The 2 ratchets work really well. They're just a little crusty. So we're going to take them apart, get them cleaned up. We'll do the cutters and stuff too. So it should be a fun one. Get 4 nice Craftsman pieces cleaned up and get them in with my vintage stuff. So stick around. So these are our 4 vintage pieces. You may have seen these in previous hauls. I think all these have been on a haul already. But we've got these Craftsman Vanadium cutters. You see those blades look really good. And honestly, everything's in pretty good shape. These are just going to get a little bit of time on the wheel. We'll get that surface rust off, and we'll get them cleaned up, back in service. This is a newer, probably 80s, 90s, whatever, Craftsman. It's crusty, but it turns pretty well. It'll need a little oil, which is a good thing because this is one with a pin, and I don't like getting those pins out of there, having to repin it and stuff. That's just a pain on something like this. But if I can do a little cleanup and get it working, great. Next up will be this Craftsman Circle H 3/8 drive. It's in really nice shape. Turns really well. Everything works good about it. It just needs a little cleanup so that it can work for many more decades to come. And then finally, we've got this 1/2-inch drive Circle U. Forged in USA. Craftsman. And these were made by Plum. This one has a little bit of a hard time going one direction. It wants to be way up there, and then it gets a little sticky. The other way it turns great. So we'll see if we can get that figured out. And right there it free spins. So a little bit tricky, but we'll see what's going on with it. And this was from George over at You Wanna Watch. He gifted this to me at Jacktown this year. So this one's definitely a special one. We'll get it working the way it needs to work and get it cleaned up. So I'll do them one at a time. Let's get after it. First up, we'll take this Circle U apart. See if we can figure out what's going on. Why it's not wanting to function properly. Hopefully it's just a little gummed up. Wasn't sure if this little screwdriver was going to be big enough, but that screw was loose enough. It came out. So when I picked up in a haul, a month or so back, no. And it's much like my flat-bladed Stanley. It works really well for just sitting in the palm of your hand. So I would say that's probably part of our issue right there. If we look at the springs, that one has a good shape to it. as long as it doesn't go flying away. And that one has a kink in it. See if we can bend it back into shape a little bit. Getting there. That was a little too much. There we go. That's pretty close. That may work. Yeah, it's still a little crooked there. Yeah. It's not like this is going to be in major use, but at the same time, I do want it to function. Get that screw out and that screw out. Everything back here seems to be pretty good. Let's grab a dirty rag. Take any excess off that we can. And I will spray these components down with brake clean. And then get them over on the wheel. See if we can get them looking a little bit better. May give you a little fast frame motion on the wheel. And then I'll be back talking to you in a minute. All right, so we're back from the wheel. And take this guy to the details. You'll notice I did also hit this guy up a little bit. Got him looking pretty good. I made a world of difference on this one. We'll save this one for after we finish up the stuff. That way I don't have parts from two different ratchets flying around at the same time. I'll put you guys on the high-speed mode while I use the wheel. All right, so we got all those detail pieces done. So this guy just really needs a good oiling. Still a little stiff, so we'll get some oil in there in a minute, get that going. This guy, the same thing. He turns nice and smooth now. We'll get a little oil in there, wipe both these down with oil. They'll be done. Next up, let's get this one put together. So these are kind of cool because you can put them together from either side. Yep, that's what I'm calling that one. So we'll go ahead and just smear this lube all around it and do it the way I did it the last time. More than one way, right? So I'm gonna grab my block of wood. Let's get this guy put together. Get the grooves to the outside. Let's pull the anvil out. The trickiest part of these things is because that it's a plate on both sides. So you got to do this and point it upright, and you'll get the switch dropped in correctly. Then you can move it down, or you can leave it up there so we can get the screws started. However you do it, just don't put it over the top of the screws. Grab my rag. So there, we're turning that way well. And we're turning that way well. Back there. And back there. And freewheel in the center. Just like it's supposed to work. So that guy's in good shape. That's 3 tools down. wiping the fingerprints and stuff off. One more to go. All right, so on to the Circle H 3/8 drive. This one works really well. This one is pretty crusty in these screw holes. The other one I had cleaned out before. So I just want to make sure I get anything out of this one. Always, always, always when you're going to do these things, guys, if they're the screw styles, get in there with a pick. And you can get the sets that you used to give away at Harbor Freight. I think now they're like $1.99 or something on sale. We'll get you one of those little orange handles. They don't last very long, but they're cheap. I think this set was on sale at Lowe's for like $10. Honestly, I'm not very satisfied with it. I don't know if you can see it. That tip already has a little hook to it, and all I've used it for is ratchets. Whether it's cleaning these screws out or digging out around snap rings. So next set I get will probably be a set of channel locks. The channel lock ones are made in the USA. Pull this in closer to me. All right, so I pulled that one in, this one in closer to me, and got the screws broken loose. Being out here in front of the camera, I wasn't getting good leverage, and I did not want to strip these guys out. Now this one, much like the Circle U, is kind of interesting when you go to put them together, I'm guessing. I have not done a Circle H before, so this will be my first time opening one up. But this side is cast in, but it's the side with the screw head. So you're still gonna have it upside down and, you know, this sitting on the block of wood and trying to tip down, kind of like we had with the other one, with the plum version. Circle H's are New Britain. By the way, if you didn't know that, that's who produced these for Craftsman. That's out of there. Just making sure I got it all. Just crusty. It's hard telling how long it's been since this guy's been apart, or if it ever has. I would assume it has with the way it still works nicely, but you just never know. Let's get this guy, and I will be right back with the small hammer. As I always tell you guys, use your vintage tools. So you can see this is an old Craftsman. Has a little bit of the green paint still left, so it's from the 50s or 60s. Kind of wish they made this type of a tip for the little rubber hammers. There we go. Yeah, that guy's pretty crusty in there with some dried grease. I'm honestly amazed it worked as well as it did. Look at that. It was packed. I'm going to get this scraped off and cleaned up. Jeez. There is a spring in there. It's, being a New Britain, it's essentially just like the BE. Look how crusty that thing is. Now I think, yeah, the one thing that's different is I can't take this out. That's a pin on both sides. It's been peened over. I'm not going to mess with that because it does flip okay. But I will get it cleaned up and get the rest of this apart. Yeah, maybe. So actually, I think all of that is in that mechanism. But I will spray it with brake clean and find out for sure. Be right back. All right, so we're back from cleanup. I went ahead and just cleaned the whole thing. So yeah, I'm not taking that mechanism entirely apart because I'd have to grind that pin out and put a new pin in and repeen it. But she is ready to go back together. So let's get some super lube on everything. Much like the last person that had this apart, we will cake everything up. We will use a nice silicone lubricant as opposed to just that standard white axle grease. Probably, it might have been a white lithium grease. The fact that it was still lubricated was nice, but it was all over everything and it was a pain. It was just to that point of starting to get sticky and tacky. Right where we don't want it to be. So I'm glad we got after it when we did. Because while it still had years before hardening completely, the fact that it's not going to be an everyday tool for me. I have many nice newer pieces. That would not have helped it for sure. For the silicone base, theoretically it can live in here forever. So we put the Craftsman Circle H side out. But, you know, that would only make sense to be able to read what it is, right? I'm just going to give this a few little love taps. There we go. So with the way that plate does sit in there so tightly, it shouldn't be nearly the issue that the plum was. We're getting it back together, at least for that aspect of it. Now, it could totally prove me a liar and be a complete pain trying to get some of this lined up and tightened up. It could remind me that, you know, it is a New Britain, and New Britons may have their own issues. That screw's not square. The other one is. There we go. This is the one the switch goes through as a pivot. So I had to just work the switch back and forth a couple times. And there it is. And I still didn't take it all the way down until I worked it a couple times. I will say that is nicer than the BE. The BE, you had to watch how tight you get it. Because if you over tighten it, it kind of locks the piece together. So there we go. And piece number 3, a circle H. I'll get these, get the work area cleaned up. I'll be right back. So I did put a little oil in this guy. Now let's see what we get out of it. It was much nicer. I like all that crust came out of there. I'll work it a few more times. Look at that now. Just a finger tap, it closes right up. I will lube up the adjustable wrench and be right back.
Show me I don't need no money, don't need nobody, just need your body.
So I hope you guys enjoyed our 4-part Craftsman cleanup. There they are, all clean. I'll get the camera turned around and we'll close this one out. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was a fun cleanup. Man, that Circle H was packed with grease in there. But we got her all cleaned up. The Circle U's are always nice. You know, for me, as an afterthought, I guess, when we're done with this, Stanley Black & Decker needs to take a piece out of their history. You know, they gave us that Taiwanese-made V-Series a few years ago, and those are nice tools. Don't hear me wrong. I bought every one of them. They're back there in the industrial box. I use them quite a bit. But give us a Circle U. You make Plum in Dallas, Texas. Or you make Plum. You make Proto in Dallas, Texas. Give us some Proto-made Craftsman tools that are made in the USA. Don't give us the BS of, we can't get these made in the US. We tried, we opened a plant, we spent all this money. I looked up the two addresses. You know that they're 35 minutes apart. You could go from, literally from the Proto plant in Dallas to the facility that now creates, I think, helicopters, but the building that they built to make tools in Fort Worth, and it's a 35-minute drive. You're telling me they couldn't get engineers over there to figure all that out and get things up and running for the guys who are making Proto stuff today? Nah, that's pure BS. Bottom line, it wasn't in their best interest, dollar for dollar. Give us something like that. I would be buying Craftsman again. I do still buy some Craftsman when it's on sale, but to be honest, I find myself at Harbor Freight buying new tools, or I ordered Williams online, Williams ratcheting wrenches, and put them in my Snap-on box. Like I said, I do get a few new Craftsman things, and that V-Series was awesome. But Craftsman, you can do better for us. Stanley Black & Decker, you can do better for us. Okay, off my soapbox, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one. That was 4 awesome pieces of Craftsman history. And that got them looking, I think, a little bit better. I didn't want to go over the top. I want to be able to still use them if I want to. I mean, you tell me. How cool would it be to pull this guy out, throw one of my BE or Circle H 3/8 drives, sockets on it, and work on my 48 Chrysler with it, right? I think that'd be pretty cool. Anyway, guys, I'm burnout. I love you. And there ain't nothing you can do about it.